Hello everyone. In this video we will design the rotor of the DC motor. So let's get started. First, add a cylinder by pressing Shift A. Go to Mesh, select Cylinder, make vertices 75. Scale Z to 0.9, Y to 0.05 and X to 0.05. Now zoom in and double click on the cylinder and name it as shaft. Press Shift D to duplicate the shaft. Press S and Z to scale it down on the Z-axis. Now press S and then Shift Z and roll the mouse wheel up while pressing to make it thicker. Scale it down again in Z-axis. Now press G and Z to grab it and move it on Z-axis. Double click on the name and make it coding. Press Shift D to duplicate it. Press S and Shift Z. Now, scale it a bit down on Z-axis by pressing S and Z. This is the copper coating of commutator. Look, there are segments in the commutator. Now you have to make the segments. So, hide other two objects by pressing the I button. Go to edit mode by pressing tab. As we need 5 segments, select 14 faces. Keep a gap and again select 14. Press Shift while selecting faces to keep the previous faces selected. Do it 5 times. Press Alt E and select Extrude along normals and slide your mouse up slowly. Press Tab to go back to object mode. Name it copper coating. Now we need to separate the coating from the shaft. Select coating and go to modifier properties and select boolean. Select the marker and tap on the shaft. Apply the modifier. See the result. Now select the commutator and apply the boolean modifier 2 times for 2 objects. We got the commutator. Now we need these little hangers. To do that, first go to edit mode by pressing tab and select the face option. Select these faces and go to edge and select loop cut and slide. You can do it by pressing Ctrl R too. Tap on the faces and roll the cut upwards. Do this for the other sections too. Okay, now select 2 faces situated in the middle of each section. Hold Shift key while selecting. Now press Alt E and select Extrude along normals roll the mouse upwards a bit. Now you will get like this. Select the bottom two faces. Again, select the loop cut and slide the cut a bit upwards. Okay, now do this for the other sections too. Okay, now select the outer two faces of each section. Hold the shift key while selecting. Press Alt-E and select extrude along normals. Okay. There are the hangers. These are the hangers of the commutator. We've done a mistake actually. This little hanger should be in the bottom side of the commutator. So we'll just need to rotate the commutator 180 degree along X or Y axis. So press R, then X, enter 180 for 180 degree rotation. Okay, now it's better. Now we have to make these sections for the wires, for wrapping the wires actually. So first add a cylinder, scale it down, scale it up a bit on the Z axis by pressing S and Z, grab it a bit upwards by pressing G and Z. Okay, we just need to scale it a bit more. Now we have to make these cuts on the cylinder.
Wait a minute!
To do that, first press Shift A, add a cube, scale it down by pressing S, grab it along X or Y axis by pressing G and X. Scale it down on both axes. Now you have to adjust the cube just like the cuts in the rotor. Go to edit mode by pressing tab. Select this face, scale it a bit down on X or Y axis by pressing S and X or S and Y. Now adjust it a bit more. Select the top face and press Ctrl R to add some loop cuts. Roll the mouse wheel up to make 2 loop cuts. Select the face option and select the front face, middle of the front actually. Grab the face by pressing G and slide the mouse along X or Y axis, whichever axis you need to do it. Okay, now while selecting the face, press E to extrude and extrude it a bit along the axis. Select the cylinder and press Shift D to duplicate it and press G and grab it close to the object. Scale it a bit down. Scale it a bit more on the Z axis by pressing S and Z. Make it overlap on the object we created. Okay, now select the object, add the boolean modifier, take the marker on the cylinder and apply the modifier. Okay, now delete the cylinder. So we have to make the cuts on the cylinder by this object. Grab it by pressing G and slide it along the x-axis. Make it overlap on the cylinder. Go to the top view to adjust the object. Scale it up on the z-axis by pressing S and Z. Okay, now we need 5 of these objects because we need to make 5 sections. Right click on the mouse, go to set origin and select origin to 3D cursor. Press Shift D to duplicate the object. Press R and Z, enter 72 because each section should be apart from 1 by 72 degrees. We just made 2 of them, we need 3 more. Select the object, press Shift D to duplicate it again, press R and Z, then enter 144. Okay, then do it again, but this time enter -72. And now enter -144. So we've made 5 objects. Now we just need to cut the cylinder by these objects. So to do it, go to the modifier properties, add boolean modifier, take the cursor, put it on the object we have created. Okay, apply the modifier. Now you can just delete this object. See, there is a cut on the cylinder. Now do this for the other cuts. So we have got the rotor, but still this is not done. This one overlaps the shaft, so we need to make them separate. To do it, add boolean modifier again, take the pointer on the shaft, then apply the modifier, add another boolean modifier for the coating. Okay, apply this modifier too. See, they are now separated from each other. We'll make it now upside down. First, select all the objects, press R and X and enter 180. Okay, now adjust it a bit more. Okay, so we need a ball bearing. To do it, first select the coating and press Shift D to duplicate it. Grab it up, scale it down on Z-axis, pressing S and Z. Zoom it. Okay, now go to edit mode by pressing tab. Select all the faces. Press I to insert the face. Now press Alt E and select extrude faces along normals. Roll the mouse a bit down to make such a look. Okay. Now go to object mode again and you can see the result. Name this as bearing inside. Okay, now we need to make the outer circle of the bearing. To do that, first add a cylinder, scale it down, adjust the cylinder, okay, now grab it and now as this cylinder overlaps the shaft, so you need to cut it in the middle and make it like a ring. Select the coating and press Shift D to duplicate it and grab it up along Z-axis. Okay, scale it a bit more by pressing S and Shift Z. Now go to the edit mode, select all the faces which are located inside. Extrude along normals. Extrude it. Now grab it down. Okay, by this thing we'll cut the cylinder. So add the boolean modifier, take the marker and place it on this object. Okay, now apply the modifier and delete it. Okay, so we've got the two rings and now we need to adjust the outer ring a bit. So to do that, select a face located inside and then go to select similar area. Okay, so deselect the upper face and also the faces located outside. Hold the Shift key while deselecting. Also the bottom faces. Okay, now insert the faces. Press I and insert a bit. And select extrude along normals. And extrude inside. Okay. Now we'll place the balls of ball bearing. Add a UV sphere, scale it down, grab it up along Z-axis, scale it down again. Okay, then place this inside the rings. Okay, now adjust it a bit. Okay, now we need lots of the spheres. I'll name it as ball. Go to the top view, select the Z-axis. Okay, now first add an array modifier. factor the x a bit. Okay, now press Shift A and add a curve circle. Scale it down. Grab it up so that you can see it from the top view. Now select the balls and add curve. Take the marker and select the curve. Well, you may face some problems here. The balls may not be in the manner you want, so you just need to change the deform axis. Okay, now we have the balls in the proper shape, so add some more. Scale them a bit down so that they fit inside the rings. Okay, now apply the modifiers. Okay, now grab all the balls down along the axis. Name it. You can create a new collection and name the collection as ball bearing and place the parts of the ball bearing here. Okay, so the rotor part is complete now. Well, the edges here are sharp, but we need the edges to be round and smooth. So to do that, right click on the mouse and select Shade Rotor Smooth for all the objects.